attention points, or TP for short. Out of all gameplay elements in Deltarune, TP may be one of the most underrated. First of all, only 2 people throughout all 4 chapters even mention its existence. Those 2 being Ralsei, only during a tutorial battle, and the TP Master, a tutorial NPC. After chapter 1, the only time TP is ever brought up again is during chapter 4's TP constriction gimmick. And yet, nobody seems to notice their TP is being constricted, including Ralsei. The only reason we even know our TP is being constricted is because the narration tells us. Considering how much Toby likes to play around with various gameplay elements, it is surprising how little the game tells us about how TP works, given its importance during battles. So, why is TP so important? Well, TP allows us to do a lot of things. And by a lot of things, I mean just one. Its only purpose currently is to be spent on acts and spells. However, acts and spells are incredibly diverse, as they include some that deal damage, like Ceci's Rude Buster, some that heal, like Ralsei's Heal Prayer, and random acts like WarioWare. We even use TP to unleash the light inside our soul multiple times during chapter 4. In fact, there are many acts that involve our soul. Both Thread Buster and Dual Heal can only be used during final bosses, and involve our soul shining its power onto Ceci or Ralsei, respectively, allowing them to cast these. Dual Buster is similar, but doesn't require any TP to cast. This means that the soul is able to manipulate TP in some way. Except, there is one problem I'm seeing right now. As you hopefully know, TP is reset and converted into dark dollars when the battle is completed. When you enter the next battle, you will have 0% TP and 0 potential stunks. This means that we can only use TP related acts and spells during battle. Except, we see this rule being broken all the time. Throughout chapters 2 through 4, we see Ceci and Ralsei use heal magic outside of battles. We even see our soul unleash long before chapter 4 in order to seal each dark fountain. So, what gives? Well, we never see either Ceci or Ralsei use many of these spells in quick succession. In fact, the only time we see Ralsei use this special sort of flight spell are during incredibly tense moments, specifically during the Roaring Night encounter and while running from the Titan. Even then, Ralsei never uses this spell for more than a few seconds before reverting back to walking. Would this mean Ceci and Ralsei would have to have their own sort of TP bar? This would explain why they cannot conjure too many spells, as their TP would be depleted. But if that is the case, who does the TP bar we see in battle belong to? Although Kreese is the commander of the party, in reality, we, the soul, are the ones controlling everyone during a battle. This is most apparent during the Snowgrave route in chapter 2. We also know that Ceci, Ralsei, and the soul have the ability to use magic outside of battle to some degree. Does this mean the TP bar seen in battles belongs to Kreese? Well, are we really the ones sealing the fountains? Every time the soul has unleashed during a fountain cutscene, we haven't really been the ones unleashing the soul. If we were the ones doing so, we would be prompted with some kind of dialogue option before doing so, like we see during the constriction battles. That can only mean that Kreese has been the one forcing us to seal fountains. Ignoring the other implications that we can draw from that, this means that Kreese can act while outside of battle, just like Ceci and Ralsei. Meaning the TP bar seen in battles has to belong to the soul. Battles are also one of the few moments when the soul can actually exist outside of Kreese, so this would explain why we can only collect and use TP during battles. So that explains the TP bar, but not TP. Well, TP can be earned by defending, grazing attacks, using TP items, collecting yellow orbs during constricted battles, and attacking. It seems TP is best earned by coming close to contact with an enemy, but coming too close will damage the soul. We know TP is capable of conjuring both light and darkness, as they allow us to both heal, similarly to how dark items do, and unleash the light inside our soul. TP pellets seen in dark zones only manifest near sources of light, such as the haunted house and the soul. I think it is safe to say that this is the form TP takes when outside of the TP bar. Although both are called different names such as treasure and courage, both still act similarly and grant TP when collected. There are also many TP related actions that involve the color yellow, such as using Ralsei spells, using the courage act during King's fight, and TP related items. Using all of this information, we can conclude that TP directly relates to light, darkness, and this. But what point am I exactly trying to make with this? Well, here is my theory. By the light and dark theory, tension points are a culmination of both light and darkness. I believe this is the most straightforward explanation as to how TP functions. TP is created when a being of light, such as the soul, party member, or light itself, contacts a body of darkness, such as darkness, or darkness. Every party member, including the soul, can store a limited amount of TP within themselves, but the soul's TP gets reset due to Kreese's control. Since TP consists of both light and darkness, it allows its users to utilize light and dark based magic. When the balance of light is disrupted, like within those dark zones, TP gain is reduced because there is a minimal amount of light. To mirror this, we can't use TP in the light world because there is not enough darkness. So that's the theory. Yay. I hope you enjoyed my first real video. If you like this sort of stuff, be sure to subscribe, as I have many more videos for theories like this that I plan on making someday. I know there may be a few flaws with this theory, especially with whatever is going on with this. Anyways, don't hassle anyone for using text to speech, and see you next chapter.